I was back at work. Magdalena told me that Andy was on vacation, but he should be back next week. I haven't seen him for a month now. I was still walking in the dark, but at least no more crying. The following week, I went for a follow-up to Andy. I arrived and he asked me immediately how I was doing. He looked worried. Why did he know? What did Magdalena tell him? My colleagues were just supposed to say that I'm back after 2 weeks, nothing more. I pretended that it was no big deal and that I was fine. And we started talking like in the good old times, about everything and nothing, and we were laughing together. I asked him about his holidays. He said he was on a cruise with his wife, and I asked how it was, and he answered it is always great to have some days off, nothing more. I was there at least 1 hour, just talking, and suddenly it hit me. I can't even describe it. It was like I got hit with love. Suddenly it was there, from 0 to 100 in 1 second. It was overwhelming. I could hardly breathe and I panicked. I had to get out and I left as fast as possible. I sat in the car and tried to understand what was going on with me. Where did all the feelings come from? I told myself that feelings that come fast probably disappear just as fast. And something changed. I was happy. Really happy. Not just pretending. I was over the moon happy. I felt so much energy and I couldn't sleep that night. And it would continue like that the next week. I would sleep between 2 to 4 hours a night and would be full of energy when I wake up 2 o'clock at night and would have energy all day. I started singing loud in the car and I would be dancing all the time. I realized that I haven't been singing or dancing or listening to music since I got pregnant. I haven't felt like that in a long time. I was like a completely different person. The night before I would visit Andy again, I wouldn't sleep at all. I tried, but it was just not happening. But since I was full of energy the next day, it wasn't bothering me. So I went to visit again. But the feelings were still there. If anything, they were growing stronger. I was walking in darkness for so long and suddenly I found the light. I have never been so happy in my whole life. Since I couldn't sleep anymore, I got up early and started to go for 1 to 2 hours walks before work every day. I felt no need for food. I had no craving for sweets and candy and no need for online shopping. I was just on cloud 9, dancing, singing, feeling so good. And suddenly the weight was dropping off. I lost 30 pounds in 1 month without even trying. The project was getting to an end, and I was visiting twice a week to pick up tools when one after one worker finished the assignment. We didn't say or do anything flirty, but there was fire in the air. The looks we threw each other, it just was obvious. I loved the person I was becoming, and I enjoyed every minute with him. And I felt so sexy. I've never felt that sexy before. I thought I was attractive before I got pregnant, but after the baby, I was just a mom. A great mom, but I didn't feel sexy. I felt more like non-existing. But I felt that I was losing control. I didn't plan on doing anything about it, but the feelings were so overwhelming. And I tried not to stay longer than I had to. But he would always start a new conversation to keep me as long as possible. One time I told him about my art, and I saw that he already knew. "You've seen my art page on Facebook?" I asked him. "Yeah, I have been snooping a bit," he answered. And I asked him about his birthday, and he tried to make this big secret about this age. That was funny, because I already knew his birth year, because I had done some snooking too. I told him that I knew how old he was. I was just wondering about his birthday, because when the project soon is over and we never see each other again, it would be nice to get a birthday message. He liked that. 5th of August, he replied. When I went back to the office, I sent him a Facebook invite. But one time we had this weird conversation where he mentioned that there was a lot of illness with his wife. And I said, "I'm so sorry to hear that." And he said, "Yes, that was very boring." And my stomach just turned upside down. I got a vibe from him like he was annoyed about her being sick. My instincts reacted so strongly that I even asked my colleagues at work if it's normal to say boring when you describe someone having an illness. You know, it was not my mother tongue. I had to check. And they said, "Yeah, you can say that." So I didn't think about it anymore. We started sending text messages that were not work-related. I would send pictures of the view and the city lights when I was going for a walk early in the morning. And if I didn't send him a picture in the morning, he would send me a picture. Like a picture of his car with frozen windows, and he would write, "Winter's coming." And I was thinking, yes, I am the first one he thinks of in the morning as well. On Fridays, we would send each other "Have a nice weekend" SMS. It was all friendly, but it was not work stuff anymore. I had a lot of feelings for him. I was trying to hide it. I just wanted to enjoy myself and the love I was feeling. It felt that I haven't been myself for a very long time, and suddenly I was back. And I was so much better than ever. I didn't plan to do anything about it. I just wanted to feel my heart again and feel the joy. I was in love. I was happy. I didn't have a sorrow in the world. And the biggest thing for me, I allowed my daughter to go on play dates with kindergarten friends without me. I actually trusted other parents. And I finally managed to let go of my crazy attachment to my daughter. I was healed. I felt normal. Actually, much better than normal. I felt great. And it showed at work. I stressed so much less. To be honest, I didn't care anymore. And suddenly, things were falling into place effortlessly. My boss recognized my new energy and said, "I don't know what you've been doing, but keep it up. It's exactly what I was waiting for from you." The truth was, I just didn't care. If anything, I worked less. But it seemed to do the trick, so no complaints from my side. And then my company was planning a trip for the clients to a handball cup abroad. And they were inviting them to stay for a whole weekend, and I was supposed to invite Andy. Oh my god. I got super nervous just thinking about that. A weekend at the hotel with Andy. And when I asked Andy, he replied that he doesn't like handball, and that they also have a convention once a year with all the suppliers that presented new products. And this convention fell on exactly that weekend. I was a bit relieved, because just the thought freaked me out. One Saturday after dance class, me, my daughter, her friend and her mother went to a small cafe to have some cake. The girls were playing, and suddenly the mother started telling me that her husband had been cheating on her 1 year ago. She told me the whole story and how hurt she was. This woman was hitting on him so hard and seduced him and wouldn't give up. She found out about it when she found some suspicious sales slips, and she got him to admit everything. And her husband didn't choose the other woman, he chose her. She looked me in the eye and said, "Can you imagine? There are women out there that go after married men with children, and they don't care if they destroy families and the life of small children." It was like a slap in my face. My heart sunk to my knees. I don't want to destroy any families. I don't want to disrupt his family in any way. I just want to be happy again. We were not doing anything. I decided I have to fight my feelings. I cannot get deeper into that. And the next week I was determined that I would stay away. I was thinking no. But my car was driving to Andy anyway. I realized that it was already too late. I felt I had no control. And I went there, and he would talk for hours again. I was so happy. And then there was this one situation where we were in the barrack and he had to get past me to get some nails for one of his carpenters. There was a table in the middle and it was very narrow, and he had to go past me. He was so close. We didn't touch, but I felt like fainting. There were sparks in the air and he threw me that look and a big smile. I don't know, there was just a big love chaos inside of me. I don't know how to describe it. When I was about to leave, he said, 7, wait. I got your friend request on Facebook. I like you a lot, but me and my wife have this thing that we don't use Facebook for work connections. Awkward. I just said, don't think about that, no problem. It's just, I use Facebook mainly for work. You know, recruiting and keeping updated with construction projects, but if you only use it private, then it's okay. Don't think about it. And I stormed out. He said he liked me a lot, but can't be Facebook friend. It just felt very odd. When I was driving back to the office, he sent me a message, wishing me a nice weekend. And I knew we were okay. And how was it going at home? The business from my husband was finally picking up. That were good news, but he was still working and stressing a lot. He had neck pain and migraines, and I just recognized that I was there just a few months ago, and I didn't want him to drag me back down. When he had the free minute, he was playing PlayStation to calm down. I felt completely disconnected. I was just trying to get the housework done, play with our daughter, and go for walks when everyone was sleeping. I was never happier, so I let him dwell in his life and I was just dancing on clouds. At the same time, the relationship of our friends was in trouble, because she got feelings for her best friend's boyfriend. He started sending some slightly romantic messages and she fell in love. She got such guilty conscience that she decided to come clean to her best friend. And it ended up that he denied everything and they slut-shamed her to all their fellow friends. She lost almost all her friends. Her boyfriend didn't understand the drama, because nothing had happened, and he actually started paying her more attention, and their relationship improved a lot. I asked my husband what he thinks about that, and he said she should never have said anything. There's nothing wrong with getting some attention from someone else in a while. They didn't do anything, it was just flirting. And I asked, where's the line? What is cheating? Sex? And he replied, it depends. If you are out partying and are drunk and just get taken by the moment and then suddenly wake up next to someone else and you think, shit, this was a mistake, it didn't mean anything, then it's no need to break your partner's heart. But if you wake up next to someone else and think, shit, I want to see you again, then it's a problem and you should tell your partner. I was not protesting, but I was thinking, I don't want to know what you've been doing. I went to the construction place again, and Andy was on the phone with his wife. They were just ending the call and he told me that they just had bought an electric car. His wife was on the way to the kindergarten and the brakes didn't work, but the car was speeding up instead. He managed to guide her through to slowly slow down the car with a handbrake. And that gave me a reality check. There is a wife and children and they could have just died. What are you doing? I wasn't really doing anything, but I was hoping for something to happen. And if it just was a hug, or if he would kiss me. I had no intention to go further. I just wanted to enjoy this feeling. I wanted to keep the love I was feeling. But after that incident, I didn't want to continue. I didn't even know her, but it started to feel wrong. I left and decided for myself, no more messages that are not work-related, no private stuff. In a few weeks, the project would be finished anyway. I was on the way back to the office, and then suddenly, pling, a message. And don't forget to put on your warm clothes tomorrow when you go for a walk. It's getting cold now. Have a nice day. And I was thinking, wow, their relationship must be really bad. She could have died. And he continues building a relationship with someone else. And I was thinking, okay, it's up to him. It's his relationship, his responsibility. And I watch out that I don't cross the line for my relationship. Let's see where it's going. And then it was the last day for my last worker at that project. I came to pick up the tools at the end of the day. There were many workers around. We were not alone. So I just took the tools and said goodbye. And that he must not forget to call me when he needs people on his next project. And I left. I was so sad. I missed him already. And I was just arriving at the kindergarten to pick up my girl and pling! Have a nice weekend. And I knew it wasn't the end. The next week I wrote a message that if he finds any tools or drilling machines from our company, then he can just call, and I pick it up. He was now only with his colleague Eric cleaning up the construction place. And pling! Yes, we found a lot of helmets and clothes in the container. You can come and pick it up, but come before lunch, because then Eric is on a different place. And I was like, okay, you're getting sneaky now. He had ulterior motives. He wanted me for himself. And I came before lunch. He had a whole sack with helmets from another company, almost no helmet from us. We talked as usual, finding all possible things to talk about, just so we wouldn't have to leave each other. But time was ticking. I couldn't stay away from the office too long either, and I said, I have to go now. Come on, give me a hug. He didn't hesitate, and he put his arms around me, and he wouldn't let go. It was an unusual long hug, and it felt like fireworks were exploding all around us. Until there, we haven't been saying or doing or writing anything flirty. We both knew that we had feelings for each other. It just was in the air, it was so obvious. But now, there was no denying anymore. It was just a hug, but just this hug, there was so much chemistry. It was just not from this world. And this changed everything. We were hooked, both. I went back to the office and sent him a message. I'm so happy, just walking around smiling and I can't stop it. And he replied, this makes two. He felt the same. Mysterious, I think I found my own way. Is it easy to show?